So a few weeks ago, I made the worst decision of my entire life. I decided to go on a date with a man. I know, scary. The feminist inside me is quaking. So basically, someone randomly sent me free nitro on Discord, and the gold digger part of me jumped with joy. And so the next thing you know, I jump on a plane to America and go on a date with him. And you might be thinking,
But Toastette, why are you meeting a random stranger that you just met on Discord?
you know, because Discord is filled with the typical fat incel moderator men. Well, I have one thing to say in response to that. What if my type is typical fat incel moderator men, huh? Don't discriminate, oh my god. Anyway, so I landed in Texas. And in case you aren't from America, Texas is basically where all the incest people and school shooters live. And if you are from Texas, my condolences. So I arrived outside the restaurant and honestly, it was the most ugliest building that I've ever seen in my entire life. But remember, we don't judge books by their covers. It's the personality that counts. And you know, how many inches they... Anyway, I went inside and took a seat and waited for my mystery man to appear. And then a 7-foot muscly, dark, tall, and ultra handsome Giga Chad approached me. I was stunned. Is this really my date? Well, before I could even utter a word, a tall 7-foot goddess woman popped out from behind him. Turns out I was sat in their seat and they told me to move. So I told them that I would only move if they let me take a photo of them. They were confused at first, but somehow they agreed, so I snapped a photo of them. And in case you're wondering why I took the photo, I'm gonna use that photo during some alone time. If you get the memo. Anyway, I was sat waiting for my date and then someone approached me. It was my date and he was bald. And not gonna lie, personally I do love a bald head, especially a shiny one. So he sat down and we awkwardly stared in silence for a few minutes. And I felt like I needed to break the tension, so I asked him to rank me from 1 to 10. And he replied with a 6. A 6! Can you believe it? How rude! And I have a hard time not showing emotions on my face, and I think he realized that there was a lot of anger building up. I mean, my face looked like this. So he quickly changed the subject and asked me this.
What is a secret you've never told anyone?
So I proceeded to tell him a secret that I've been holding in for a really long time. And to be honest, I think I really needed to get it off my chest. Hey, my eyes are up here, you pervert. Okay, so what was the secret? Well, when I was 10, I moved to a new school, and I didn't have any friends. So I used to sit on the friendship bench, which is basically a bench that you sit on when you have no friends in hopes that someone will join you. I know, embarrassing, right? It should really be called the bench of shame. Anyway, not only did I not have friends, but I was also being bullied. And so I desperately wanted friends, so I did the best thing I could think of. Lie. I basically went around telling everybody that I was related to Queen Elizabeth, which theoretically is true because we all came from Adam and Eve. And this one mean, horrid little girl started to laugh at me and tried to expose me for lying. And then this one rat-looking girl in my class one day corners me on the playground and is literally screaming in my face telling me that I'm not related to Queen Elizabeth. And I go, yes I am. Anyway, after she decided that she hates me, I have no chance. So I spent every playtime alone. So I would basically run around the playground looking behind me so that the teachers would think that someone was chasing me and that I had friends because I didn't want them to think I had no friends. So like I couldn't even hide in the toilets. Imagine the torture. I literally had to sit there by myself and I never made a fuss. I just sat there alone. Honestly, I preferred it that way. And then one day, this nasty, stinking rat girl didn't have anyone to play with at lunch. Probably because she's a raving She comes in crying after the lunch break, is stood in front of the class, and the teacher makes us all apologize for not playing with her. Myself included. I had to say sorry. Imagine the hypocrisy. Okay, back to the date. And yeah, I may have overshared a little. And after my giant rant, he stared at me for a few seconds. And then a single tear fell from his eye. Turns out he related to the story and didn't have friends in school either. And then he started to full-on cry. I must have really hit a nerve. Also, there's one thing I need to tell you. I can get the ick very easily. One thing that really gives me the ick is when men show their emotions. And so without saying a word, I got up and left him there crying. Now, you're probably thinking, where's the part that you almost got killed? Well, the next day I was walking through a dark parking lot, and as I'm walking through it, I hear a
Toastette
coming from a completely dark car, and it really freaked me out. And so I look in, and it was him, the guy from the date. And I'm like, oh my god, so I keep walking, I keep my head down, and then I hear a
Oi, Toastette.
And he gets out the car, and I'm like, oh my god. And I glance back behind me, and he goes, I've got something for you. And for some reason, I stop walking and turn around and go, yeah, what do you want? And then he hands me something. It's a leash. I know, out of all things, a leash? Literally so random. And I ask, what is this for? He doesn't say anything, he just smirks. I was so disgusted that I threw it on the floor and kept walking. And then he starts following me. He shouts the word,
Oi.
I turn around and he pulls out a knife. Now, I know that was meant to intimidate me, but he forgot one important thing. I'm from London. We are the capital of the world for knife crime, and I've seen this many times before. So I don't know if you guys ever saw those YouTube pranks, but basically they would go up to a group of gangsters, start a fight, and then just before they would get attacked, they would pull their pants down and the aggressors would run away. Yeah, so basically for some reason I thought that would be a really good idea. So I started giggling, and not like that cute, innocent, friendly giggling, like crazy maniac giggling. And then I pulled down my pants and started running after him. He got so confused and creeped out that he dropped the knife and ran back into his car. I then jumped on top of the car and proceeded to print my cheeks on the window, if you catch my drift. Anyway, it's safe to say that I never saw or heard from him ever again. But funnily enough, this wasn't the worst date that I've ever been on. Check out this video where I got dumped in a really brutal real way. I have a feeling you'll like it. Go ahead and check it out. I love you, Cutie.